What's good, y'all? It's the one and only Nappyhead Fred coming back to y'all with another album review of Joyner Lucas ADHD. This is Joyner Lucas' debut album released March 27, 2020 under 29 Music Group. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. First song we have on this album is I Lied. I thought this was honestly a really good start to the album. Getting into the production though, I feel like the production definitely brought like a good beat type. I like the sound of it. It's definitely a fast-paced kind of song, so it definitely is energetic. It brings the energy right away. So I feel like the production was overall solid, even with the trap beats. I thought it was a nice touch. But getting into the lyrics of this song, I thought the lyrics of this song was definitely very impactful. Just basically representing he's lied about a lot of things, like obviously helping his homeboys out, getting his girl this big crib, and just various of things that he was obviously basically saying he would get, but then once he got to the fame, he basically lied about all of that. So I feel like the song definitely brings some comedic relief, but I feel like he flowed through the track very well. So I feel like from a storytelling aspect, it was definitely pretty good. Cadence wise was elite on here, and I would argue this is probably one of the better songs on this album. So I definitely enjoyed it a lot.
One time for them praying on my downfall. Yeah. 2 times for the homies in the child hall. 3 times for them hoes on.
Next song we got on here is Isis featuring Logic. I thought this song was very interesting due to the production sounding very similar to a song I used to listen to a lot.
I'll admit it. Watch your motherfucking tone.
So yeah, it definitely sounds similar, but maybe this production is a little more higher tempo than the Drake production. But overall, I feel like the production was very acceptable. It's a very fast-paced, just energetic kind of song. I feel like the beat type with the bass was definitely really good. Getting into the verses though, I feel like Joyner Lucas' part was pretty solid. It wasn't too bad. I feel like he was able to keep up with the pace of the song, so he was able to flow through the track very well. Logic's part was honestly pretty good as well. I feel like he definitely did his part. The thing about it is I wouldn't typically go back to this song often due to it just being kind of outdated in a way. And I feel like the production and just the lyrics wise was kind of outdated for me, but I do feel like for the time being, it definitely was a good listen. Obviously, it's one of the more popular tracks on this album, if not the most popular track in Joyner Lucas' catalog. But I just don't feel like it's really that crazy of a listen nowadays, just due to it being a little outdated. But I would say overall, a pretty good song, nonetheless.
On a bitch, on a grip, on a flip, lost a darling, got it right back.
Next song we got on here is The War featuring Young Thug. A definitely surprise feature, I would say, out of probably any feature on this album so far. I feel like this song was cool. It was very mellow, which kind of caught me off guard. It gives like a pretty solid singing performance from Joyner Lucas. I would say it's solid. It isn't nothing special, but I would say it's solid for the most part. But getting into the production, like I said, is very mellow, laid back. It kind of has that, you know, I don't know how to really describe it. It's just like really one of those chill kind of productions that is very mellow overall. But I feel like the beat type was honestly pretty good. The lyrics from Joyner Lucas, I feel like he was trying too hard to like rap fast on such a slow beat that it just didn't really match. So I feel like his energy was way too above the production wise, but I feel like his singing performance matched the energy of the production. But getting into Young Thug's part, I feel like Young Thug did his thing. I feel like he's really good on these kind of production beats, but I couldn't really understand him, which a lot of the songs I pretty much can't. But I feel like overall, I feel like he had a solid performance. I mean, it's acceptable. So, um, I feel like this song is okay, but it can be good on a good day. So that's really all I can say about it.
Only thing I love.
Next song we got on here is I Love. Um, I thought this song was good. I do, but I have a really big problem with this song because unlike every other song on here, this song was released in 2018 and this album is obviously released in 2020. So, for a song that's 2 years old, for him to add it on a new album is very, very iffy for me. I do like the song a lot. I remember listening to it in 2018 and enjoying it a lot to the point where I added it to my playlist. And obviously, when I got into the album, I wasn't hoping to hear this song. So I have mixed emotions based on just this song being 2 years old prior to the album already being out. But I just feel like getting into the production, I feel like the production was definitely really good. The beat type was amazing, and just the sound of the production was just kind of an anthem kind of song. And not only that, the hook was very catchy. I feel like his lyrics were definitely really dope, but I just don't like how he put a 2 year old song on a new album at that time. So I kind of have mixed emotions about it. I really enjoy the song still to this day, but I don't, yeah, I just don't like how he did that. So, yeah, I'm kind of in the middle with this one.
I'm staring at this Bible as I keep glancing. Dear Lord, I got questions and I need answers.
Next song we got on here is Devil's Work. I thought this song was very, very interesting and maybe controversial to some, but maybe not to me. I don't find it that controversial. But getting into the production, I feel like the production was solid. I feel like the beat type obviously took over the whole song. The sound of the song was honestly pretty good, but like the beat type was probably the most iconic part about the production. But getting into the lyrics, because I feel like the lyrics definitely hit different because he's basically obviously talking about the devil's work, but he's talking about the devil's work as far as him taking away certain people that had really big influences on people's lives. Like he talks about Michael Jackson, he talks about Aaliyah, he talks about Tupac, Biggie, and he's basically saying why take them away when you could take people like R. Kelly away, or just people that have done bad things instead of taking away the good people. So I think, in some way, that's why I said it's kind of controversial, because depending on how you feel about Tupac and Biggie and all that, it could be controversial. But I feel like he definitely went in on just the industry, just getting taken away from like the icons that I feel like we were all able to look up to. So I feel like the storytelling was definitely really dope. I feel like he was spitting, man, and I would argue it's definitely one of the more underrated songs on this album, and definitely should get more attention, if not already.
It's my birthday, I'm about to get lit. Might blow a bag on a drip. Make it all back on a quick flip, hey.
Next song we got on here is Lotto. I feel like this song was pretty decent. I feel like the production was kind of basic in a way. I feel like the beat type low-key sounded similar to some of the other songs that I previously just named. I feel like the violin was honestly a okay touch, but it just wasn't like, like loud enough for me to really pay attention to. You would really have to have a good ear to hear kind of the violin sound. But I feel like overall the lyrics wise were pretty dope. His cadence was obviously really good. I feel like his cadence on every song is gonna be like insanely good. But I feel like the lyrics wise weren't really nothing crazy. He's just talking about, getting rich, making money. Like I feel like everybody has a song like that. So I'm not gonna degrade him for that, obviously, but it's not a song I would listen to that often, if I'm being honest. But obviously you got to flex a little bit when you start making money. So why not make a song involving that? So I feel like performance wise was pretty good. Like I said, his cadence was pretty well put together. And I would say it's an acceptable song. I won't say it's bad at all.
I don't trust niggas, I ride by myself. All I need is my strap in my arm. All I can see is he fucking.
Next song we got on here is Gold Mine. I didn't really enjoy this song that much. It's not like the worst song, but I just feel like it lacked a lot of things. But getting into the production, the beat type was kind of simple. The sound of the production was very simple. It's just kind of this hollow sound that's kind of like higher pitched, but it really wasn't moving me that much. So the production was kind of mid. But getting into just the lyrics wise, the lyrics weren't really hitting like that, if I'm being honest. I didn't really like the sound of Joyner Lucas on this particular song. His cadence wasn't really there. The flow was there, but the sound of Joyner Lucas, I just really didn't enjoy. I appreciate that he was creative at least, but I just feel like on this song, he worried about his singing performance probably more than anything on this song. So to me, it's not really a song I would go back to. If somebody played it, I wouldn't be mad at it, but it just, again, it ain't a song I'm paying attention to personally. So overall, I would say it's a mid song.
Got 100 million things all on my mind. Every damn thing, new day, new fight.
Next song we got on here is Finally featuring Chris Brown. I thought this song was cool. I thought it was cool. I think for the most part, it just sounds like a radio play kind of song, which I feel like is acceptable for the radio. I feel like the production definitely brought like a more simple beat type, but I feel like the sound of the production was more just, it just feels like a radio play song if y'all obviously hear it. But I feel like Chris Brown's part on the hook was honestly really good. I feel like his performance was well put together. And I feel like Joyner Lucas definitely killed it. I feel like he took his time. His cadence was honestly really well put together. It's not fast cadence, but it's just well put together to match the flow of the production. So overall, I feel like I could give this song a thumbs up, honestly. It's not like a bad song. It's just not a song I would listen to often, but if it played, I would definitely nod my head to it. So I would say it's definitely enjoyable.
10 bands, 20 bands. She'll do anything for a couple grand. Never had no money, but she loved it.
Next song we got on here is 10 Bands featuring Timberland. That was low-key bars, I ain't even gonna lie. But I thought this song was kind of cringe. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. The production was very boring. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I thought Timberland would go crazy on this production, but his production is so basic on here. It just kind of disappointed me. And not only that, him being kind of in the background of the ad-libs, that was kind of overblown. I don't think that should have happened. And I feel like Joyner Lucas' rap performance was honestly kind of annoying. Like, I just hated his cadence and the way he was just trying to like match the beat. It was just like kind of aggravating. I'm not even gonna lie. So if I had to probably name the worst song on this album, it'd probably be this song. I really wouldn't want to listen to this if somebody played it in the car, because it's just like, it's just such a like repetitive kind of like cadence that throughout the song you kind of like get tired of it after a while. So yeah, just kind of pour everything around the whole song. So I would say this song is bad, honestly.
The more that I try, the more that I want. The more that I grind, the more that I shine. The more that I strive, the more that I start.
Next song we got on here is Revenge. I could argue this is my favorite song on the entire album. Not due to, you know, his actions of what he's saying in the song, but I just feel like how melodic the production is pretty good, but how chaotic it is also really good as well. So I feel like the piano sound was a really nice touch. I feel like he definitely gave a different kind of sound in general once you get into his verses. But I feel like even the beat type was honestly really, really good and very enjoyable. But getting into the lyrics, I feel like the lyrics definitely is self-explanatory to the title itself. Him getting revenge on just a lot of people that, messed him up, that basically betrayed him, that, made fun of him, just anything of that sort. He basically got revenge on. And I don't know if it's in real life, but due to like the music video, which I watched the music video, he pretty much killed like everybody around him. So this song is kind of like not maybe for everybody, but I feel like it just has such good lyrics and just such good cadence, and he was able to flow through the track very well. And definitely one of the more popular songs on this album, so it definitely makes sense. And if I'm being honest, it was probably one of the first singles I've heard off of this album, so definitely very enjoyable still to this day, honestly.
It kind of feels like I'm dying on the inside.
Next song we got on here is ADHD, self-titled. I feel like this is probably the most important song on the album because I feel like it's definitely a condition that many people have had where they have to take medication, they have to go through kind of this therapy treatment and just a lot of things, and that's what Joyner Lucas had to go through at a young age. And I feel like the storytelling on here is definitely really good, just based on just what he went through like at a younger age. And I'll be able to explain that more during the final thoughts of this album, but just the storytelling was absolutely amazing. I feel like the choice of production maybe could have been more, how can I put it, more just sadder in a way, just so we can feel the lyrics a little bit more. But I do feel like just the impact of this song for him to have some type of relativity to like people that have ADHD, I think he can honestly just let people know, like, I went through this, like, I know how it feels. And I feel like he was able to open up to that, which most people aren't. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't like to admit the ADHD thing, and because it's a definitely just, it's a thing you can't really control unless you get like, treatment and just all that crazy stuff that you have to go through. So he's definitely dealt with it in a positive way, and he definitely keeps people that have ADHD motivated. And sorry if I'm just thinking about my words, but I thought this song was obviously dope. I would say it's one of the more popular songs on the album, if not the most popular song in Joyner Lucas' catalog. And I think it's a definitely good first listen, and y'all should listen to it if y'all haven't got the chance.
She got a nice face, she got a nice body. I still can't love her, still can't trust her. Baby, I'm sorry.
Next song we got on here is Still Can't Love, featuring King, OSF, and Fabulous. I thought this song was kind of on the mid side. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like the production wise was very basic. I feel like the beat type was very simple. It was a really slow paced kind of trap sound song, so it wasn't nothing too special. I feel like lyrics wise wasn't nothing too crazy neither. I'm not even gonna lie. I heard more singing out of this song than rapping, if I'm being honest. But I feel like Fabulous definitely, I feel like his feature was definitely necessary. I feel like he flowed through the track very well. But everyone else, I was just kind of like, I don't really care for it that much. So if I'm being honest, I wouldn't really go back to this song that often. I would probably listen to Fabulous part, but he literally has the last verse on this song. So I don't know if I would have listened to it that long just to hear Fabulous. So like I said, it's just mid.
I'm feeling like Will. I think I'm a prince, I'm feeling myself. I'm loaded with bills, cause I wasn't blessed with no Uncle Phil.
Next song we got on here is Will, aka Will Smith. I feel like this song was definitely really good. I feel like the production was a little outdated, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like the beat type was solid. The sound of the production just could have been a better quality because it just sounds like a early 2000s kind of production, if I'm being honest. But I feel like the lyrics from Joyner Lucas was definitely really dope. Just him breaking down every movie of Will Smith, or at least every popular movie of Will Smith, and basically him saying he wants to be like Will. And I'm just gonna say it because I can't hold it in. This song did not age very well because the fact that he wanted to be like Will Smith and have like a family like Will Smith, we can all agree that Will Smith and the family thing did not work. So maybe he changed his mind, but I will say, just to make it a pro song, Will Smith was on the remix of this song, and I thought his remix version was definitely really dope, and very inspiring. I can tell from Joyner Lucas. So obviously, there's some pros to this song, and then there's some cons because, like I said, we know how the relationship with Will Smith and Jada Pickett and probably the kids obviously ended. But overall, I feel like this song is dope. It's obviously one of the more popular songs on this album, if not the most popular song in Joyner Lucas' catalog. I feel like it's a good staple if this was maybe 3-4 years ago. Yeah, 3-4 years ago, but it just doesn't hold up as well, unfortunately. So that's all I can say about it.
This is shit I dreamed about when I was only 4. Sugar, water, mac and cheese, we were broke and poor. Yeah.
The last song we have on this album is Broke and Stupid. I thought this was an amazing outro to end the album off of. I feel like the production though could have been utilized better due to the sampling, but I honestly can't complain because I feel like the self-titled, it being Broke and Stupid, he was able to spit about that to the highest level. Basically just representing, like, basically once you get out of high school, you either gotta be smart or be rich. And if you're broke and stupid, then like, what are you doing pretty much? Like, what are you doing? So basically he's just basically spitting that into amazing flow and cadence and great storytelling, because I think he might have seen a couple people deal with that, being broken stupid, and you never want to be broken stupid. You always have to have a plan, which I can say I didn't have a plan necessarily coming out of high school, so this is definitely a motivational song in a way. I just wish the sampling could have been utilized a little better, but honestly, I actually like this song and I personally listen to it often. But it is time to get to the final thoughts. My final thoughts of this album, even though throughout the whole album review it seemed like I enjoyed every track, but at the same time it's really hard to enjoy every track when you know you listen to the song previous to this album. There was a lot of singles on this particular album that were released in 2018 and 2019. So it's hard to really rate the album in terms of it being either good or bad, if you get my drift. So I feel like the background though of this album was very important because he definitely was explaining his ADHD at a young age, and you know, him being separated from classes, from school, because he was so different and he got diagnosed with ADHD. So it's a very touchy subject, but I feel like he was able to explain it in the best way possible. Now, in terms of it being throughout the whole album, obviously not as much, but I do feel like just the storytelling impact that he had throughout the album was definitely on a really good level. I feel like the production on half of the songs were honestly pretty solid. The features I think were honestly pretty good as well, but I just feel like I'm gonna have to knock it down a couple points because I heard a lot of the songs previous to this album, and You know, when you're adding singles from 2018 all the way to a 2020 album, I kind of just feel like the creativity ain't there, because in that case, if you eliminate half of those singles, or matter of fact, I'll say all the singles from 2 years ago and a year prior to that, that means the album would probably be mid, if I'm being honest. So I don't know. I'm just kind of struggling with it, because it's very rare that somebody does that within their albums, where they release songs and then put the release songs from years ago on a new album, because at that point, you didn't even have to give us an album. You could have just kept dropping singles. So, and for this to be his debut album, it is kind of disappointing, because obviously we expect new music. We're not expecting the old same songs. And I feel like everybody was anticipated on Joyner Lucas dropping an album. And when he dropped this and you heard similar singles, it kind of messes it up. I'm not even going to lie. So it's going to be hard to rate this album, but I'm going to give it my best shot. With all that being said, I'm giving this album a 6.5 out of 10. That will conclude today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, like, subscribe, and comment down below what other albums y'all want me to listen to. Also, click the link down in my description for all my social medias. But yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one.